Hi, Lisa here, back to share some legal tips, a little legal education, and today I am going to talk about what might be my favorite thing. It's LLCs. Specifically, I'm going to talk about the things that you need to do. Now your new LLC, so now what? There are immediate steps that you really need to take, and then there are ongoing practices that you need to implement. So I'm going to rush through those. When I get really excited about a topic, I get animated and I talk fast. So I'm sorry. Hopefully the transcript below will help, but here we go. So in the immediacy, once your LLC is formed, here's the things you need to do. And if you haven't already, which actually I hope you did this before you created the LLC, you need to get a good CPA or enrolled agent to discuss the tax implications and possible tax elections that the LLC can make to give you the best tax picture for the business. You may at that time also want to consider hiring a bookkeeper or a payroll company, especially if you're making any kind of a tax election, such as the S Corp election, which requires that you be put on payroll. You need to immediately open your business banking accounts, which need to be connected to the LLC's EIN. The EIN is your employee or employer identification number. It's issued by the IRS. It's functionally a social security number for the business. We want to make sure you're using that number and not your social security number. And the biggest thing is that you are not going to mingle personal funds and business funds because that's the single best way to eliminate the legal liability protection that the LLC is meant to give you. You need to get insurance. People say, well, can't I have one or the other? No. Think of them as an airbag and a seatbelt. You need both. They protect you in different ways, and they are both there in case one fails. You need to check with your city or town where your primary place of business is to find out if you have to register your business. In Massachusetts, by state law, all businesses are required to be registered in the city or town of their primary place of business. However, those municipalities have the ability to carve out exceptions for LLCs and corporations. But not every city and town has done that, so you do need to inquire. It varies from one municipality to another. And then you need to either create or revise your estate plan to reflect your business succession plans. If you do not have an estate plan that mirrors your business succession plans, it is quite possible that the probate court can override those decisions and let the estate pass the way it has to per your will or as prescribed by law. So what are some of the ongoing practices for an LLC? First of all, you need to maintain proper records. Depending on what state you're in, the law may be different about what records are required and how long they need to be retained by the company. So it's really important that you check your local statute or check with an attorney to help you figure out what your record keeping requirements are. If you are going to be doing business in states other than the LLC's primary state, you may need to register there as a foreign entity. This is a very subjective decision. If you have one client in one other state, do you need to register? Maybe not. But if you have several clients or you open a secondary office or a large portion of your revenue comes through that other state, then most definitely you do need to register. I would recommend checking with both local counsel and counsel in the other state to determine if and when you need to register as a foreign entity. Make sure you file your annual report with your state and pay the accompanying fee. In Massachusetts, there is no late fee, which is nice, but if you fail to file your annual report and pay your fee for 3 years or so, the state will administratively dissolve you and your LLC will no longer exist. If you need to get a certificate of good standing, maybe you're entering into an agreement with another business and they want to see it, or you're trying to get a loan and they want to see it. If you are not up to date on your annual reports and your filing fees, the state will not issue that certificate. And then make sure whenever you are signing documents on behalf of the business that you are signing with your title, whether that's member, manager, owner, president, whatever you call yourself. Make sure that's how you sign your name. In fact, you can even sign checks that way if you're using checks. So it could be Ann Smith, comma, president. And that makes it very clear, perhaps is even overkill, that you're not signing that in an individual capacity, because the whole point of an LLC is that we're pulling you, the person, out of the situation of being liable for anything that the business does. So you want to make sure that you're following all these practices to keep your personal assets safe and protected from any debts or obligations or lawsuits of your business. Hopefully this was helpful. If you need help, you can use the information you got here to ask all the right questions of local counsel and really make sure that you have a good, solid foundation for your business and that you're following all of the formalities to keep that liability protection in place.